Hello and welcome to the Omni Den. If you ever wanted to be in a Jackie Chan action film where you're Jackie Chan, or one of the assailants that gets pummeled by him, Sifu is the game for you. Sifu released in February 2022 and has since gained a cult following of strangely Dark Souls players and fighting game players. It itself is just an action game, but using its unique gameplay elements and its life system, it carries the moniker of both. Personally, I think everyone should give this game a try, because it came from a small developer who made Absolver, a game where the fighting system is really well done, but everything else around it needed a lot of work. And I think they learned a lot from that experience to make this game probably one of the games of the year. And that seems like a lot of high praise, but when you walked into a hallway of people who can easily kill you and not get touched once, as you begin to beat them down, you begin to understand why someone would love this game. Sifu does not rely upon a normal level up system, in which you get stronger based on numbers or abilities, but rather your own mind and how you tackle the game. Much like in a Bloodborne or Dark Souls game, you go into an area filled with enemies, and then you take them out one by one as best you can. They might group up on you, but that's the whole point. The difference in a Bloodborne game is if you die in this game, you become older. But, much like the mantra goes, the older you get, the wiser you get. Hopefully. Because the number of times you revive in the same spot and try to beat the enemies, to eventually get to the boss. The bosses usually test all of your skill that you've learned up to that point, and you're probably not going to beat them on the first try, which is a good thing. This game teaches you two very important lessons: observation and patience. Reaction time is a great tertiary lesson, but if you have the first two, the game is a lot simpler. The greatest enemy in the game for you would, instead of being the enemies, would probably be the camera at that point. Now, I personally love this game because I grew up watching Jackie Chan and Jet Li films featuring hard-hitting martial arts or wushu wire work and using the environment to your benefit. I think this game captures those elements within those movies very well. It makes you really feel like you're about to get kicked in the face when you enter a room. Or, if you've gotten better, you're about to demolish everybody in that room. For me, playing this game for the first time and learning everything about it was exhilarating. But I went about it the wrong way. I tried to play through it at once, so restarting every level instead of just letting myself die and then being revived. I wanted to defeat this game as young as possible the first time. That's not how you play this game. Not at all. In order to become Sifu or a master, you really must go through trial and error. For the Dark Soulian players, that feels like nothing new. So what attracts the fighting game players, you might ask? Well, it has a number of combinations and skills that you do actually learn and level up through an actual tree. But the difference between it's like a roguelike in the sense that your progress gets reset every time you do not unlock these abilities permanently. And these abilities are a great help once you learn to incorporate them within your fighting style. None of them really are a get out of jail free card, as some of the enemies do not take hit stun or will keep you pressured and or chase you down. So really learning the button inputs for the particular section of fighting and learning to use your own custom combo string is really helpful. Much like learning a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. There are plenty of tutorials online where people use particular inputs in order to create combinations that will help them stun lock an enemy or let them get through a level a lot easier. I am no professional on this, so all I can recommend is not to take the flowing claw. I repeat, do not take the flowing claw. Because very simply, the moment you get into combat and you're trying to flow and hit and do your thing, you press quickly the first light attack and then the heavy attack. You spin around in the middle of your combo, hitting one guy and missing him completely, leaving yourself open to get walloped in the back of the head. The game is not without its frustrations, but I think with more refinement as they keep updating this game, as well as modders on PC making the game even more fun with skins and camera and combo mods. I think this game will live a long time, at least as a cult classic, especially in the boss levels. Now the bosses themselves will test everything you have, but they're not impossible to beat. Although personally, Sean and the final boss can be thrown in a pit of lava. It is very obvious that the dev team behind this was very inspired by old school Hong Kong action films. I remember growing up in Jamaica, and the only real movies on DVDs we could afford were those same films, like Drunken Master, or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Legend, Ip Man, and so on. This game absolutely oozes that same kind of energy and really connects to me on an emotional level, as I would spend most of my time with my mom watching those films. I think it's very important for how well this game did, as it does come from a smaller developer, and for all the passion and love that was poured into it to be celebrated and appreciated. Plus, you get to fight all these different references, like one of the boss battles that's basically the fight from Kill Bill. You know the one. In the snow. You know the one. And if somehow you don't have the feeling of beating up people down a hallway like your Daredevil, I hope this video really inspired you to pick this game up. There are rumors that there might be new modes being added to the game later on down the line, as well as more content. Hopefully with the support that people are giving to this game, we can see a lot more content coming in the future. Now I've been the Omni Den, check out more of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!